So today I would continue another session on TPL data flow. So let's get started. Today I want to talk about the join block, and you can look up the documentation officially for the join block, but let's get started. So basically I have the same structure I have been trying to do before. So we print something hello TPL, and we have a join block example, and we call the start method of it. So let's take a look at the start method. It's pretty straightforward. We try to get a producer block. In this case, we are going to make a join block. So let's go to the producer block and see what we have. So a join block basically has two inputs. So the type of the inputs here is going to be int, and you can just use this constructor method to get the join block. And the output for the join block is essentially a tuple, okay? So it will take two of its input and emit in a tuple which has both of these values. So first problem we would face here is that when we try to send to the producer block something, it is complaining that it cannot send it. The problem is because producer block or the join block right now needs two input. So you have to specify where you want to send this input to. So what we can do is we can specify target one here, for example. So here I'm sending it to the target one of the inputs of this block, and so that compiler warning is gone. So that's good. So here it is complaining that it cannot link to the consumer block because consumer block here, or the action block we had, was accepting an IEnumerable int, but now output of this join block is going to be a tuple. So we need to change this to a tuple. So let's just do that. So I'm going to make a tuple out of it, tuple int, and we need to do the same thing when we get the new action block. So I'm going to change it to a tuple as well. So here that should remove the compiler warning. So we are able to take the producer block, complete it, and also link it to our consumer block. So let's just see if we try to just run this, what happens. And you should see in a second some message saying that hello TPL, and then that's it, nothing else happens. And the reason for this is actually quite straightforward. The problem is our producer block has two targets, 1 and 2, and we only send a message to one of them. So it cannot really emit any output, and we are just basically waiting on the output because there is nothing else going on. So to fix this problem, we need to send something on the second input as well. So I'm going to change this to target 2. So here now we are giving the same input I to both of those inputs, and it should be emitting a tuple output anyway, and it should be consumed in this action block and emitted as a string. So let's see if this works better, and just give it a second. Here you can see that this is working as expected. We are getting a tuple inside our action block, and we are joining it as a string and printing it. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in the join block. And you can also specify an option called the greedy options on this join block, but you can read more about it here. I'm not going to go about doing it today here, but there is a greedy mode and a non-greedy mode. And basically non-greedy mode is essentially used if you have to do some atomic operation where both of those two inputs have to be there. But I don't need it for this illustrations. So thank you for watching this short screencast. And if you later on need to refer to it, I'm going to put it under TPL Dataflow JoinBlock. Thanks for watching this short screencast, and you have a great day.